Hey everybody, welcome to this Board Game Life episode number 109, titled One Book to Rule Them All. This is the show about games, board games, tabletop games, miniatures games, card games, any kind of games, and maybe even some other stuff that we throw in there. We like to throw in a curveball every once in a while, talking about some non-gaming stuff. But anyway, you might be wondering who's on the show. I am one of your fine hosts for today. My name is Rob, and with me as always, I got my good buddy Mark, which has got great camera presence.
Hi, everybody. How you doing?
You get a double thumbs up for that. Anyway, that's an inside thing between Mark and myself there. But yeah, before we get on with the show, just want to make a quick mention that you can find a ton of content from us on YouTube. There's a spot where you can find our podcast. If you don't listen to it on your phone or whatever, hey, that's a good way to listen to it at work. Just saying, just throw up YouTube. You can listen to us. Then you don't have to have like some other device to listen to our show. But you can find our podcast, the video version, the audio version. There's unboxings out there, some playthroughs, reviews. Mark does mailbags, which are pretty cool. And also you do that monthly. What do you call it?
Month in review.
Yeah, month in review. Yeah. So tons of great content out there. Definitely check it out. We love making that content for you. So, we hope you enjoy it. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Great. Perfectly on cue, my friend. Mm-hmm. So, that's a great way to, help us out and help the algorithm send our content out to more and more people. But let's get on over to what we've been playing lately, or rather to the table. And I'll start off first. I played Tanglewoods Red. So this is one of the 20-strong series. It's Wave 2. Is that maybe how we could phrase it, Mark?
Sure. Yeah, I think that's a good one.
Yeah, because the first group of games was Solar Sentinels, the Hoplomachus
Victorum.
Yes, that one. And then also Too Many Bones. Yeah. And then for the Tanglewoods, the second wave 2, season 2 release, we had red, gold, and silver?
No!
What?
White.
I forgot. White, yes.
And why are they named Red, Gold, and White, Rob?
Red Riding Hood.
Yes.
Goldilocks.
Yes.
And Snow White.
And there you go. Easy way to remember.
Not Silver Surfer.
No. Not yet, anyways.
This is our second time recording this because of me. And last time, what did I say? Red, yellow, and blue, I think I said.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So apparently I haven't played Goldilocks and Snow White yet, which I haven't. But just like the first set, man, these are pretty tough. So they're a good challenge, but we wouldn't want them to be too easy, because if it's too easy, then it's not necessarily as fun. Right? Because some of the challenge is to be able to accomplish something, and games are always fun, like when you pull off the win, like just narrowly right at the last minute. Those games tend to be a little bit more exciting. But like we just said, Tanglewoods Red is set in the Red Riding Hood, grandma's house, big bad wolf type of storyline. Is what I think the whole Tanglewoods things is Brothers Grimm or the Fables or something like that. That's the whole
I'm not sure
of them all. But what's interesting about this one is that all of these have a common core set of rules and pieces. This has nothing to do with what our kids learn. not that common core. But it's got the base set, and then you get a card pack essentially, which is that particular story or game, however you want to phrase it. So this one is set in the Little Red Riding Hood universe, where you basically play as Little Red Riding Hood, and you are working your way through this map of cards, which is actually kind of interesting. You get, I believe it's 15 cards. You play with 10, and then each card has these lines that go, from bottom up. They fork, they go to different destinations, and what you're doing is you're building a map as you're drawing these cards, shuffled, of course, and you work your way up towards Grandma's house eventually, which is what I guess the 11th or 12th card. But actually, I think then it would be I think it's the 10th. Anyway, as you're going up over there, eventually you get to Grandma's house, and you have to fight the wolf pack. Eventually the big bad wolf at the end. And it's just an interesting take. It is very cool how, using the same game system, they've come up with so many different ways to play the game. And each game does feel different in many ways. So I enjoyed it, but unfortunately, I have yet to win this game, which actually I don't think I've won any of them in the whole series. You've won one of them, haven't you? At least
I've played Too Many Bones, I think, twice, and I've played Solar Sentinels a couple times. I think Solar Sentinels I've won it one time.
Yeah.
It's probably the easiest of the ones to try to win.
Mm-hmm.
But
I would assume if you play your first game of any of these, if you won, you probably played it wrong. I'm not saying you specifically, I'm saying in general.
Yeah.
Because they are challenging, but in a good way. And,
yes.
And, it's a chip theory game, so top-notch components. Love the cards, which are
fun to shuffle.
Oh, yeah. Great quality.
Oh, yeah.
What are they, like PVC or something?
Yes.
Yeah. So they're PVC cards. They feel great. They're tough to shuffle, at least for me. But then again, I have problems shuffling anything.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite way to shuffle is to, like, for example, hand the cards to Mark and say, "Hey, shuffle these." That's the best way to do it. But yeah, great quality on the cards, and yeah, you've got the upgraded dice and stuff like that, so I can imagine like how great it must be to play with those. I just have the regular dice that comes with the set.
Yeah, I'm hoping I can get some time in this weekend to actually play some of this, as I have not played it yet. It's just still sitting here, and I really would like to try it out. I never played the Hoplomachus one. It was very different. I'm not sure why I didn't ever jump in and play it, but I need to play that one too. So, and the cool thing about,
just a matter of time.
Yeah, and playing other things, and I mean, these are solo games, which should be easier to table because it's just whenever you got free time. But been doing videos and playing other games right now. Been getting things in, and it's like this just recently arrived, and I just haven't had a chance. But I'd like to get one, at least get one of these done soon. But I'd like to play all three and check them out. So.
Yeah,
I think, and what I did notice, I haven't played them yet, but I did notice looking through them, like, I think it's, like you're talking about Red, is like you're kind of going down a path, but like I was looking at the other two and they don't work that way. So my experience with Solar Sentinels and like Too Many Bones, they were very similar. Like you kind of were doing the same type of thing in both those games. Hoplomachus is different. It works very differently than the other two. So, and it seems like now they're kind of branching out into different, not all the games are going to play the same. They're going to have very different variations among them. So I think that's really good. And this isn't the end. 20 Strong is a system. So they are just adding more content or quote games, if you will, that you would use that 20 Strong system to play. And they are still supposedly, before the end of the year, they are supposed to probably have another crowdfunding for Cloudspire, which is a game series that Chip Theory themselves has. They're putting a 20 Strong out for that. They've done a partnership, I guess, with Awakened Realms, and there's a Nemesis 20 Strong coming, which, baby, cool. I'm all over. And then there's going to be more. So we don't know what it is. There's just we just know more is coming. They say there and more. But,
could there be a Castles of Burgundy 20 Strong? I don't know.
Yes, please.
I totally made that up.
No, now it's got to happen. We want it.
Yeah. And, I think we've both got that chest thing.
The strong box.
The strong box. Thank you. Which
I don't know if that's what it's called, but that's what I call it. 20 Strong. That should be the enough. Strong box.
Yeah. So when the Tanglewoods packs were on Kickstarter, you could get this big container to hold them all. It's a high quality container, but when you look at the whole thing, it's like, how many of these things am I going to be buying over the next couple of years? There's a lot of room in there.
There is. It's called the 20 Stronghold, is what they call it.
The Stronghold. Yeah.
Yep.
But I'm looking forward to the next ones. And, I got to play Nemesis when we did our last this Board Game Life Con. Was it earlier this year or last year? I don't remember. But anyway,
we did it this year.
Was this
we
year?
did it this. It was like February of 2025.
Time just runs together. I don't even know if I'm coming or going, but I'll take your word for it that it was this year.
It was.
Actually, yeah, it was. But I definitely love that setting, that IP. So it'd be cool to see what they have in store for the 20 Strong version of it.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see more on the Nemesis version of this. Absolutely. Okay. Big fan.
So I totally derailed us. Got us talking about all sorts of other stuff other than Tanglewoods Red. But that was all I played. And it does take up a decent amount of room, surprisingly. So I played it on a hotel table, and it wasn't quite enough room. I was having to keep moving stuff around, especially when I needed to pick up the cards, because I was doing the thing of press the card down, slide it to the edge of the table, then lift, which is probably no good for the card, because now you're sliding it and you're creating scuff marks and stuff.
Yeah.
But whatever. So what have you played?
All right. I played Istanbul, the dice game. So this is a classic game that has been, like, Istanbul's an amazing game. It's really fun. But the dice game kind of takes that same idea, but simplifies it down to you're rolling dice to get your resources, and you're having to get, so many resources to gain gems. And it's like you need so many of the yellow resources, like 4 you trade in to gain a gem. And then the next time someone wants to gain a gem in that yellow resource, they need 5 resources to trade in. So it gets more expensive under each of the 4 different resources. There's one you can buy with coins. There's other ways to get these gems, but every time someone takes one, then it gets more expensive for the next gem that's taken. So, and you're rolling, and you have abilities, like you can roll these dice and get cards that will give you special abilities, and you can gain these things that will go onward throughout the game, like giving you extra dice on your roll. And so it's a really fun game. I really like Istanbul, the dice game. Also got to play Tend. This is new from IV Studios, and I played this with a total of 6 people. and I personally really like it. I know another guy in the group really enjoyed it a lot. He wants a copy of it. Another guy really enjoyed it and took it.
He has it. Okay, that's a different guy.
I got it back last night.
I was going to say he has that copy, doesn't he?
Yeah, he borrowed it to wanted to show it, play with his wife.
Wink, wink.
I was at their house last night to play some more ISS Vanguard, and I got it back, and they were not. After they played it a couple times, they weren't really fans of it. So they felt it was too much left to chance, and you can't really build strategies around it. I don't know. My opinion after a couple of plays is I feel like I might approach it the same every time. Like, I've yet to do any of the animals or the growing of the food. I haven't done that part of the game. And so that part doesn't appeal to me, like the fishing, the mining, the chopping in the forest with the scratch cards. Again, to me, that's a little bit more enjoyable. I kind of enjoy that. I do need to try, like, the next time I play, growing crops or doing the animals, to see how that would change. There's a lot of different things you can do, and it's one of those games you can't do everything. You're going to have to focus on a couple of areas. So I got a lot more play to still do, but I really like it. It was pretty good consensus with the group that it was a enjoyable game. So that's Tend. We also played Deception, Murder in Hong Kong. We only had 4 of us. I'm really wanting to play with like 6 to 9 players or something, whatever. I know it can play more. And the more people I think in this game, I think the more fun it will be. This is a really cool game if you've not played Deception. You have one player as the kind of lead investigator, and everyone else is a, quote, investigator, or, you don't know. You get a role. And so one of you is the killer or the murderer. And so what happens is everyone basically closes their eyes except the lead investigator, person running the game, and they're going to say, okay, killer, open your eyes, and then they're going to point to a clue and a weapon that are sitting out on the table in front of them. And we all have, I think it was like 4 weapons and 4 clues. So then, he's like, okay, close your eyes. And then everyone opens their eyes. And then the guy that's running the game, or the person running the game, has these cards, not cards, but they're like cardboard strips of clues. And he puts them out. You set out so many, and then he has these little like bullets that he puts on certain things. So one might say like a location, and it might say like a shopping store, an office, a home, a car wash, whatever, something like that. And so they'll trying to get you clues to kind of get the group to guess, find the murder weapon and the evidence that was left behind. But the main investigator can't talk. They're just putting these things out, and they're limited by the cards that come up, the clue things. So sometimes there's something that is completely not relevant. So, and then other times it's like people might think one way, or you might be thinking another. And it's one of those games that's real fun because as people start having conversations, the group is openly talking. Someone's trying to steer everyone the wrong way. They don't want you to discover that they're the murderer. That's how they win. Everyone else so they're going to be trying to deceive everyone. Everyone else is trying to figure out, those 2 pieces of information. So, and I had one, like, I had put down like, there was like head. I put head for like body location or something. And then because like the murder weapon was like powdered drugs. So I was like, okay, well, if they snorted it, there would be some noticing of that on the head, but that doesn't really, there was other things that like, they eventually got that one, right? They were figuring it's got to be the drugs tied to the head, but they couldn't get the piece of evidence.
I would have thought it was Professor Plum with the wrench in the study or in the library.
It's exactly what this is. Modern day Clue is really what it is. But it is, It is so much fun. It's really a great game. And I told my buddy Frank, I'm like, you got to bring this back. When we get a whole big group playing, it's just going to be fantastic. So it was fun with 4 people, but it will be better because you can have additional roles like a witness, and there's another role. I can't remember what it is, but there are additional roles that can get added into the game that change things up. So Deception, Murder in Hong Kong is fantastic, and I can't wait to play it again. I mentioned ISS Vanguard, played this. We are getting close to being done with the campaign, and it's been one that I've been kind of, yeah, it's okay, right? It's not my style of game. It's a lot of story, and story-based games are really not my thing, even though I do play some stuff, but I like stuff that's, you don't have a lot of downtime. I want to play stuff I love, like Intend, everyone's playing at the same time. I like that. It keeps everything going. You're not just sitting in between turns. And with ISS Vanguard, there's story, there's people, you got the group working together, but we're trying to, hey, well, maybe who should go first and what are they going to do? And well, should we go over there? And there's all this type of conversation going on. And for me, I'm just like, after a while, I'm like, kind of zone out sometimes, or I'll pick up my phone and next thing I know, I missed what was being narrated. And it's one of those that's hard for me to kind of stay engaged. But the more I'm playing it, the more I am enjoying it. It's to me, for me, it's a pretty complicated system. There's a lot. I mean, you need a huge table. There's a lot happening. And really, the other 3 players are kind of doing everything, and I'm kind of listening to them, and I'm like, I'm getting to the point where it's like, okay, I'm starting to say, well, I think I should do this, because of this reason. Like, let me, my chances are better of rolling something with these dice, and maybe I don't need someone's help to save that for another opportunity, things like that. It's getting better. I'm getting more interested in it. I haven't played the whole campaign with them. They had already started it when I had joined. And so I joined mid, and there's been some times I couldn't go. So they've played my character without me, that it's like they were doing begin, because the game plays with 4 people, period. 4 characters, regardless of the player count. If you play solo, you're controlling 4 characters. So I just missed out on a lot of the story. So I haven't been there the entire time, but I've played enough now that it's something I wouldn't sign up to do again, but I obviously will finish this game with them. It's just, sadly, it's just not my style of game, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the rest of the group is absolutely loving the game. They really enjoy it, and so again, it's just a personal thing. One that I am really loving and hoping that we get to finish off this weekend is Pandemic Legacy Season 1. We are, I think, in the month of August. So I think we got 4 months left to play. And we might not finish it in one evening, because it depends. Could we luck out and get through, or are we going to get hammered? Because the game is definitely getting hard. Unlike the normal Pandemic, where it's just hard, period, the Legacy you can get started and get going. It's not going to destroy you on the first game, but it progressively gets harder and harder, and we are hitting that where it is becoming quite a struggle. So I don't know if we'll be able to breeze through the end of it, but we are really looking forward to seeing the end of Pandemic Legacy Season 1, and I have Season 2 and Season 0 on the shelf behind me, ready to go, and we are committed. We're going to jump right into them because the game is that good. It is absolutely fantastic. If you're not a fan of Pandemic,
the OG,
don't let the original, the base game, don't let that sway you from trying the Legacy game. The Legacy game is phenomenal. It is so good.
Because that game was number 1 for a while. I don't think it's on BGG. I don't think it still is, but yeah, Pandemic Legacy was there for a while.
Yeah, it's good, and
apparently with good reason.
Yes, and my understanding is the number 2 and the season 0 just keep getting better. Like they're one of those things. It's one of those games like you're going to want to play all of them. It's not one of those where I played one, so I'm good. I don't need to play the others. No, you need to play them all. At least that's what I'm being told. So I'll let you know after I get through season 2 and 0. All right. Next, I've got to play Spooktacular. I really, really love this game. If you're wondering what Spooktacular is, I like to say it's Root, but a very light version with a horror theme to it, but a campy horror theme. So think of kind of like, the story is you're in a theater. There's this kind of monster movie marathon thing going on, and something happens, and all of a sudden, like the monster characters break out of the screen and attack the guests that are at the theater and take over. And so everyone, the why I say it's like Root is there's 20 different characters that you can play as in the game. You can have up to 5 people playing, and every character plays very different. You have your own little meeples. Some will have 1. Some monsters will have 10, like the Blob. He has 10 little pieces, and he can move all over the place. And all the characters play different, and you're ultimately all trying to, get to that, have the most points at the end of the game. But by your actions are different. You have different abilities, and it's really neat how this game plays. So if you are familiar with Root, and if you really love Root, you probably won't like Spooktacular because it's Root light is, I guess, how I would say. It's Root in the fact of all that asymmetrical player actions and how everybody's playing differently. That's but outside of that, it's different. But I really, really enjoy it. I find it to be a lot of fun. And unlike Root, it's very easy for non-player or new players to learn it. And I just played it this last week. We had 5 people. I was the only one. Take that back. There was 2 of us that had played it before, and nobody else had. And it was real easy. Everything's on your card, exactly what to do in your turn, and everything's explained very clearly. So, Spooktacular from level 99. It's a fantastic. Next, I played Lands of Amazement. This is from Button Shy Games. It's one of those 18-card wallet games. It's a solo game from Scott Alms. It's a puzzle. You're trying to get puzzle resources. The cards are split. Top side shows like the puzzle, your piece you're trying to make with these resources that are on the bottom. And then you have 4 rounds, and at the end of the 4th round, you're going to build your mega park, and you have to basically have you have to have certain amount of resources in that park, and it has to be certain shapes, and you're trying to put the cards together into this kind of puzzle shape to basically win the game. Think of Tetris shapes as kind of
polyominoes.
Well, yeah, that's what you're trying to. The shapes are on the card, and you're trying to you're laying the cards at the end, like matching these resources up and trying to match the shape that you have to do to build your mega park. So it takes about 15 minutes to play. So real quick, easy solo game. Not easy, not necessarily easy, but easy to pick up and to play.
Sure.
And then the last thing, I did mention Root earlier. I did get to play Root this last week and played for this was only my second play of Root. First time I played as the Cats. This time I played as the Vagabond, and I really enjoyed playing as the Vagabond because you're not doing combat. You can, but that's not your goal. And it seems like everyone else is battling each other. And I kind of really liked just being kind of like the friend to everybody. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to go over here and help you out. And, and if they get these resources or items, then I can give them a card that might help them out. And they give me the resource, which helps me out. I found it to be a much more pleasant character to play in Root. So I had a really good time. And I was very happy with where I placed at the end of it, because it's It's a very challenging, lot going on game. But what I really find amazing about Root is the couple times I've played, and from what I've heard from others at the table this week that have played many times, every game comes down to that last round. Like, anybody can win throughout this whole game. It's rare that someone's getting just blown away. Everyone seems to be just able to stay in this game the entire time, despite it being very asymmetrical and people just doing very different things. It is an extremely well-balanced game, and it blows my mind how balanced this thing is. And that's really I think the cool part is everyone's in it till somebody basically scores. And then it's like, at that point, we did it on ours. We had 5 people. When the person, I could have won. I could have won if I could have gotten, I think I needed 2 or 3 more points. And I couldn't get them. But I would have them on my next turn. But there was 4 people going. And of those 4 people, 3 of them were able to win before it got back to me. Only one person wasn't going to be able to score the points needed. And then the person right after me did win. So, and like I said, if she hadn't, the next guy had it. And then if he, for some reason, couldn't, the other guy did. But yeah, 4 of us were able to, all about the same time, end the game and win it. Really cool. Very unique. Not a lot of games can pull that off. So that's Root. And that's it for me. It was a good week.
That's good gaming there.
It was good gaming. Absolutely.
Yeah, if you're wondering how to contact us, well, you've come to the right place, because we can tell you. A great place to contact us is just make a comment on any of the videos that we have, or any of the platforms on BGG, the Guild. You can also email us at contact@thisboardgamelife.com. And we always love hearing from our listeners. And on to the news real quick. I've got 5 stories, I think. Was there a 6th? I don't remember. Oh no, there's only 5, because 6th got cut. But anyway, first up, there's an interesting game coming out. It's called Boss Fighters QR. So this is done by the duo Lucas Zach and Michael Palm, who designed Dorfromantik, which is the winner of the Spiel des Jahres 2 years ago. And what's interesting about this game is that it's an app-supported game, technically an app-supported family game. So it's a hybrid boss battle game where the app reads QR codes to recognize the actions of players, and it lets the boss respond accordingly. Basically, the players choose a hero deck between Jungle Troll, Hill Halfling, Copper Dwarf, or Wood Elf, and combine those with one of the 4 class decks, which are Warrior, Mage, Rogue, or Druid. And then the app recognizes these cards through a QR code and enables interaction between the deck building and boss battles in there. So, we've had apps in games in the past. There's a couple of different forms of these. So there's the ones that, will do scoring, for example, at that. So that's cool, right? You can score it yourself, or you can have the app do it, because, math is hard sometimes. And the other way is where the app will take more of a role in the game. It'll give maybe some ambiance with sound, like I don't know if this one really applies, but like there's the Mansions of Madness from FFG, where the app takes like center stage. There's Descent also, and looks like he's leaving me. Mark just got up. So there's then the other class, which I'd say is like the third class, where it seems like the app is pivotal to the play. And the thing that's kind of bad about having an app that's pivotal to the play is that what happens when the app is no longer, being maintained. Like, I have an Android phone, so the common thing is like, hey, this app was not built for your version of Android because, it was built for version 12 and then your device has version 16. And, I guess it remains to be seen if this app is going to be, or rather if the game is going to be playable without this app. Because if the app ever gets, sidelined, if the app ever doesn't work, then can the game even be playable? I mean, do you even just pitch it in the trash? So, Mark, I was talking about the usability of the different kinds of apps, and this one seems like it's a core part of the game. And once the game comes out, we'll know for sure. But, what happens if the app is no longer supported? Then basically this Boss Fighters game is unplayable. Or do you have to maintain, like you have to keep an old version of, or rather an old model phone? It's like, okay, I'm keeping this iPhone 10, iPhone X, whatever you want to call it, specifically so I can play this game. Heck, you can even put it in the box. But yeah, any thoughts on these app games? I think you're not a fan. If I remember correctly from the other day.
I am not a fan.
Yeah.
And I don't like the apps. I don't mind companion apps that can be used, like telling a story. Yeah, or adding up your scores, or something that is not required. Like Ready Set Bet's got one that will auto run the horses for you, so you can play and you don't have to have someone rolling the dice and doing the horses. But it's not required. And if you don't have that, or you don't use it, it doesn't break the game. It doesn't require it. Games that require an app, I don't like it, because too often you always have to have a device around, and that device, and what happens when the OSs get updated and that device that software, the app can no longer run on those, which does happen, or the app gets delisted, does happen. It completely ruins a board game, which shouldn't have to rely on another outside source to be available. Or what if your internet's down? How many times people play board games like when the internet's out? Let's go play a board game. Oh, well, now you can't because you need this internet connected app or something. I don't like that. So if it's available as a companion or complementary to it, awesome. That's cool. If it's required, I'm not interested. And I turn down games. Yes, I have one. XCOM UFO Defense. The only reason I bought that is I did check first that the app still does work, but I'm a huge fan of XCOM from the video game days. And I'm like, even if I don't ever play it, I want it. I still want to play it. But, and it's going to get to the table here soon. But I was very hesitant, and I originally never bought it because it required an app. And it's years later now, and it still works. I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get this and take the risk. But yeah, I turn other games down. Oh, it has this app. Nope, I don't want it. I've been bitten too many times by video games that like delisted, or servers go down, or you can't get to them anymore. It's like, what good is this box? And then you can't resell the box if you can't resell the game if it requires an app that's no longer available. So yeah, not a fan.
No, I get it. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with this. So this game is releasing in November. It is now November, so it's very likely already in the stores. And it's got $49.99 MSRP, 2 to 4 players, 10 and up plays in 40 to 60 minutes. So next up, Fantasy Flight is releasing a new core set for Arkham Horror, the card game. So this is going to be a new expansion for current players or a jumping on point for new players. So, I think this is the second or third in the series, but technically it's going to be the second or third core set in the series, because I thought they already redid it once. But it's going to be chapter 2 of the series. This Arkham Horror, the card game core set will replace the revised core set from 2021 and picks up the storyline several months after where the Drowned City left off. And it's going to contain 5 new investigator cards, 33 scenario cards, 224 player cards, a chaos bag, over 220 tokens, which I'm sure are all health and insanity markers, probably 20 health and 200 insanity markers, knowing how all these games go. 1 campaign guide, and this can all be yours for a mere $69.99. So this seems like it's getting more expensive. I guess Asmodee needs to pay the bills. So for 250 cards, you can pay $70 for it. But this new card game version of Arkham Horror, that's something that has always been very interesting to me. And I got the core set, have yet to break it out because I haven't had the chance to sucker anybody into learning the rules with me. Hint, hint. Just saying.
Oh.
February. But I know the people that play it, they really love it. So it's yet a new set for this. Because, hey, they do all sorts of new sets with the original Arkham Horror and Elder Scrolls. No, not Elder Scrolls. Elder Sign and Eldritch Horror. That was what I was thinking of. So why not this? Gamma, we talked about this a little while ago, a couple episodes ago, how they're going to be moving, I think to Baltimore or something like that. Yeah, Baltimore in 2027. And they've announced that they have sold out their exhibitor booths for 2026. So, I mean, this is probably a good sign for the hobby as a whole, right? Because we're selling out Gen Con. The attendance is getting crazy over at Essen and, all of the other cons. And I mean, that shows that the hobby's at least good and healthy for now. It's not dwindling, as we're seeing more and more games come out, more and more attendance. And this next Gamma show is going to be March 1st, 2026. And they said that in 2024, they had 300 booths. In 2025, earlier this year, the spring, they had 350. So I imagine it's at least 350 booths. So that's interesting, and kudos to them for bringing all that stuff together. Then there's going to be 2, not 1, but 2 different Doom games that are available on Kickstarter. They're currently still going, I think. I'm not going to pull it up, but I want to say last time I looked at it, it was like 2 weeks to go. So it's going to be, the Kickstarter campaigns are ending later this month. So there is a Doom: The Dark Ages, which is the latest version of the game, at least of the video game. And then there's the older OG version. So these are coming out by Modifius. And if that's of interest to you, it's just cool to me because, I love my video games. especially my older video games, which I played a heck of a lot, and I played Doom a whole lot back in the 90s. So it's just cool to see some of this stuff come out. And, every once in a while, they do very good versions of these. Although I'd have to say that, based on what I saw on Kickstarter, these aren't quite my speed, because they seem to be like a one-on-one. One person plays the Space Marine, the other person plays the monsters, or whatever you want to call them. And they just duke it out. So check it out if that's something that's of interest to you, and get it before it finishes up. And then, speaking of Kickstarter, we mentioned a couple shows ago that there was a Kickstarter strike, and apparently they just agreed on, wrapping up the strike. So the new agreement that they had is they're going to have a 4-day work week. So that's cool. It'd be nice to have a 4-day work week, I guess. I would like that. There's a new higher salary floor and commitments by management not to replace workers by AI or contractors, which is a thing nowadays. So, and then I guess they're in New York. So let's see, they're going to have a 32-hour 4-day work week and a minimum living wage for New York City, which is $85,000 a year. So that's cool that they got their agreement in. And as far as I knew, the website never went down. So somehow it was still working. They were still doing stuff. Maybe it was all automated.
Most of it is.
Yeah. It just runs, and then you hope that there isn't any database corruption anywhere.
Yeah, until someone just trips over a power cord.
Exactly.
To the server.
Or unplugs the server to plug in a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
Anyway. So that's it for the news. All right. On to the main topic, which was one book to rule them all. And one thing that every game comes with, pretty much 99.9% of the games come with, is a rule book, instruction manual, whatever you want to call it. And there's a lot of great rule books out there that set the bar so high. And then there's a lot of rule books that are, mediocre. They just get in there and you look at the rule book and then you start searching on YouTube, right? You start looking for the how to plays, which is more like help. I need help because the rule book doesn't make sense. But, we thought it would be cool to kind of go over a whole bunch of different things about what we like and what we dislike about certain rule books that we've seen. Where I don't know if we're going to call anybody out specifically, but here, I'll start off first. And I really like the rule books that have detailed examples. And not every rule book has this, but I know a lot of the older Euro games will have like a portion of the page which will have, let's say a picture of the player board or the main board, and then it'll have arrows like where pieces are moving, and then underneath in the caption it'll say, blue player, moves his pieces over here and scores X amount of points because of this and that. Red player then follows and does this. Because to me, when I read the instructions, I get an idea of how everything works, but I really like these examples that they put in the book, which shows you the flow, because I don't often get a flow of how the game works by reading the instructions, because or the rules, because it's almost like you have a recipe and you're reading the ingredients. Yes. All right. Chili powder, salt, meat. Great. But how does it go together? What are the steps that I should actually be using to help put this together? And that kind of helps me learn the game a little bit quicker without having to play it.
Yeah.
So I really like examples with pictures and a great caption that shows what is it, or sometimes they'll have like you can move your piece here, if it's a tile laying game, you can move your tile here, and there's a little check mark, and then it has X X X, where you can't move it because that all violates the rules, because they always have it put your piece, put your tile orthogonally. And then you always get somebody that tries to, put it corner to corner diagonally. No, you got to have that X over there. That's how those people know. Anyway, how about you?
I can tell you one thing I don't like.
What's that?
Is when Rob takes my example or my items that I listed in the script.
That was yours?
That was all those listed were mine.
No, but I talked about it.
You did not. You talked about other things. No. I wrote mine down.
Okay.
So, I don't like when people steal your stuff. No, I'm just kidding. I don't like when a rule book over-explains, but I also don't like it when they under-explain it. So sometimes I feel like, these people that are, designing the game, and are designing these rules, they know the game so well that sometimes they can write these rules with the expectation that the gamer already knows things that they know, but we don't. So they need to make sure that when they're being written, that it's kind of down at the bottom level. Remember, we don't know. We didn't design the game, so we don't know everything. You can't take it for granted that we understand all the terminology or things. So you can't under-explain it and leave things out, but you also can't go the other way of they know nothing and I'm going to go into so much depth, because then you can over-explain it. Then we're just lost. And you can make a game that's fairly easy to learn more complicated by just, over-explaining. So try to keep it simple. I like the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple. Tell us what we need. Don't have to provide extra that just doesn't provide any value to the gamer reading the rules. We want to get the rules read. We want to understand the game, and we want to get it played quickly. So don't hamper us by making a 40-page rule book when you could really do it in, 20.
Yep.
So.
And I really like the rule books that are large.
Yes.
The ones that are the size of the box. Because a common thing for many years was if you had a Ticket to Ride size box, that's how big your rules were.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They didn't chintz out and make it like a little pamphlet or anything like that. It was a big rule book. Maybe then they can make it less pages, right? But especially for those of us that are getting older in our years, not me, I'm talking about you, Mark. Our eyes aren't that great anymore, as I say that because I got 2 pairs of glasses here.
Yeah.
For working on my computer and playing my Clash Royale on my phone. But, it helps just to have stuff be larger and having that big rule book. Although, in some small cases when you don't have a lot of room on the table, it can be nicer to have a smaller rule book, but it's still more often than not better to have the big rule book. And then I'm just going to segue real quick because I kind of mentioned it. readable font.
Yes.
Just, yeah, there's some rule books that are like teeny tiny, and like I don't always have my glasses with me when I play games. And if I'm struggling to read stuff, that game is not going to be fun because I'm spending too much time struggling to read the card that I can't even enjoy myself. Maybe it's my fault because I forgot my glasses, but hey, it's a whole different story.
No, I'm with you. I want to be able to read read the rules. And some games, some rule books, even if they've got a large rule book, that's the size of the box, they put in such small print. It's like, why? You've got this space, and make it legible. We're not all teenagers with 20/20 vision.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to be able to read it, and makes things a lot easier. It just, again, don't make the game harder to learn by making it hard to read. Make everything a decent size. Doesn't have to be, old man, big button, 1 letter per page, but that's crazy. But don't use like a size 8 font in your big book just to cram more letters and save money on less pages. It just is not a good experience for the customer. And I always go back to, I crowdfunded a game that the rule book was the worst thing I'd ever seen. It was 2 colors. It was a white rule book with black lettering on it. That's it. There were no pictures. There was no explanations of stuff. It was just like someone had typed up in Word the rules and then hit print and then stapled the pages together. That's essentially all it was. And so my first experience with the game was looking at the rule book, and I'm like, this is terrible. And they're talking about stuff, and I'm like, yeah, but what is this? I don't know what you're talking about. There's no examples. There's no pictures. There's nothing in this rule book. And, and the font was not the best. It was okay. But my first experience, normally a gamer's first experience with your game is going to be the rule book, especially if they bought your game. And that's who you need to think of that. What's my customer's first experience going to be? They're going to be reading the rules. If you make it complicated, or that's such a bad experience of just reading wall upon wall of text, then I had such a foul impression of the game before I even got to play. And yeah, the game was terrible. The rule book wouldn't have saved it, but
yeah,
I was already well, I think the rule book was the worst part of it, to be honest. The game wasn't necessarily bad. It was just very left up to chance, and it wasn't fun because of the way the game was designed. But the rule book, right off the bat, like, this is terrible. It made me not even want to play the game, and that's just not. I don't think a designer wants that. They're designing these to sell a bunch because they want us to be happy and buy their games and give them money so they can make more games. Then the rule book can't be an afterthought. You can't think of it as like, well, I have to print this rule book. That is the gateway to your game. And if that gateway is horrible and a bad experience, you are not going to see us getting to your game. You're not going to see us recommending your game. So don't. It is part of the experience. Make it enjoyable.
Okay, another thing that I kind of enjoy, and this is a minor thing. This is just something that I like seeing. It doesn't really change the experience very much, but some of the rule books, particularly in the Euro realm, will have a blurb in the back inside cover or the back page, usually a little bit of info about the designer. Like it'll have, Stefan Feld was, born, this year, and he's a teacher living in this, city, grew up in the city or something like that. It's just cool to see a little bit of background on the designer because, we've in this hobby, not that designers are superstars, but we tend to like, certain designers and their games that they come out with. So it's cool to see some of like the human aspect of the designers and learn a little bit about them where, we might not have, done some extensive research online and look them up and stuff. So it's a cool little thing that I enjoy, and I wish more companies would do that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that's nice. One of my big pet peeves with a rule book is just listing the components. Show me the picture, show me an image of the component along with the name of it, because I can't tell you how many times I've gone through a game and it's like, components, and it's just a list. Well, I may not know what the danger tile compared to a burn tile compared to something else. I may not know what those are if you don't give me a picture. I don't know which of these matches, and I shouldn't have to sit here and count. Oh, there's 45 of these, but 44 of these. Okay, which of these has got 40? Okay, that one. Okay, so that must be these. Again, just put a freaking picture in there. I think the best rule books, you open it up, first page, components, pictures of them, naming what they are. And then you got board set up and you have players set up,
Let me add real quick to what you said there. Have a picture of it and list the count, because
yes,
sometimes with the count we can figure it out. So, anyway,
but I want a picture.
Yes.
Because again, if it's like you got 45 damage markers and 44 other marker, why am I going to have to? Which okay, so I got to count them now. I don't. We shouldn't have to do that. Again, they're leaving the work to us when they could have just put a picture of it. Oh, boom! I know what that is. Don't just print a list. Give us a picture. Show us what it is in the box, what this means. Because I today I was unboxing something, and I'm like, what is this? Like, I don't know what this is. And it was kind of a real pain to figure out what this thing was. And I'm like, I don't like that. That is starting to put a sour taste in my mouth about the game. So make it clear what these things are and what they're supposed to be for. It just, again, helps and improves that experience out the gate.
Oh, absolutely. And so many times with these games that have lots of cards, like you might have 300 cards and then they want you to sort them into like different piles. And it's like, I've got this like 3-inch stack. I have no idea what's what. And then I get hopeful and I'm like, oh, maybe they have different card backs. Then I find I have a 300 card 3-inch stack of cards where every card back is the same. And it's like, oh, come on. You just, I know it's easy when, they've been working on a game for a year or more. They've seen the same game art, the same card art day in and day out. They forget what it's like for somebody that's never seen it before. Or if you ask playtesters to proofread your stuff, they're familiar with the game. They know the game. They're going to overlook that stuff. Pretend like we're dumb or something, and that we need our handheld. But did you have any more or?
I was trying to look something up here.
More to that topic, or
just no so cards. Absolutely. I went through this experience today where I was unboxing Grim Coven. And that's what I was trying to find, like how many cards are in this game, because it's absolutely insane. I was trying to look that up, but there's probably 300-400 cards in there. And so you got all these packs, right? And you just start opening them, and then you have to, and there's no book. There's nothing in the game that tells you how to sort the cards. Like, I've had some games that will tell you how to sort the cards, and even that's been very iffy. This one had nothing. You had to go search out a video to see how to do their reboxing of the game. And then I'm watching this, and it's like they've got the faded camera, way out with all the stuff, so you can't even see their decks. They're too far away, and they're like, oh, grab this and this and put it together and repeat that. Well, they get to one where it was called I can't remember what it was called, but the Pretenders or something like that. I think there was Pretenders and you're trying to get these cards. Nothing out of all these cards has the word Pretenders on it. Like, everything was labeled pretty good. Like, you had the particular character, and whether it was armor or a card, or whether it was corruption, a treasure, a secret, a location. They did a great job, but for some reason on this one, nobody knows what it is. And I even went into like the forums on BGG. Other people are asking, like, what is it? Oh, Pretender cards. Yeah. The Pretender cards. It's like, what makes up the Pretender deck? I can't figure it out. And then it says, someone responds, the Pretender cards of that particular hunter. That doesn't help. No one knows what there's nothing labeled Pretender cards. And then someone here, so here's one. I didn't know these either. So here someone says it's the final attack, opportunity, and stage card for each hunter. Well, that was never stated in this video. They didn't show it in the video. I don't even know if this is right, because I know my opportunity and stage cards, I didn't know where to put them, because there was nothing showed that in the video. Nothing states in the rule book. It's like, what do I do with these? And then, so I got a couple people here that, now this is a different thread than the one I saw earlier. So now I got to go back and refix, because I have some of the cards in with the main hunters, but now they need to go into the pretend deck. I shouldn't have to go searching through forums to get these answers. This stuff should be in the box. And when I'm looking at the components, now they have everything listed, but there's nothing that says anything about Pretender cards. And even when you go to the Pretenders section of the rule book, they don't tell you what these cards are. There was nothing. And it's like, why? Why are you doing this? I spent a lot of money for this game, and you can't tell me which cards are in this deck? Like, that could have been a list. Pretender cards, get these cards, these labeled. You didn't need a picture of that. You could have just stated that could have been a list. But no, you couldn't even do that. So now, hours afterwards, and I'm having this conversation, now I go back and I bring it up. Oh, here's another thread on it that has different information. This is ridiculous. This is what I'm talking about. Bad rule books. Overall, I think their rule book looks great. I haven't read it yet. I just got the game. I just got it today, the other day. I just got it open today, right? So I can't fully commit to what the rule book is like, but I can tell you off the jump here, this is terrible. And I've had this with other games that have a ton of cards, and I think maybe this is an issue with Awakened Realms, possibly, because Dragon Eclipse is another one that really was a struggle getting their card decks and everything sorted and what they wanted where. But they did a better job than Grim Coven has done. So again, make these things clear to your customer. Don't make them. It was already took like an hour to an hour and a half to go through this box and get everything unwrapped and then put back in. Like, this was a huge ordeal. I think it took me an hour to an hour and a half to watch their video, pause it, go back, pause it. You're trying to watch, you're trying to get any, like, what is he grabbing? What is he sticking together? Yes, there's some text on the screen, but like with Pretenders, they ignored it. They didn't tell you what was in there, So they just grabbed cards you couldn't see and said, here, put it behind this divider. That's not helpful. So then it's like I'm going searching on the internet, finding other people, asking the same questions. You're making our initial impression of this game not good. And it's something that, especially for your crowdfunding people, we've backed this. Why are you making it more complicated for us to get this thing tabled? So yes, cards are a huge thing. Too many games that have a ton of cards. They should make that has to be a priority. How's the gamer going to get this set up quickly? Make it a helpful guide. It just is. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I like how some of those rule books, particularly I know Queen Games did this a lot with a lot of their older games, where you open up the rule book. It is as big as the box, right? Ticket to Ride size. You open it up, because I'm thinking Fresco, because I think that one had that, where it's the big rule book. You open it up, and then it's got a picture of the board. And then around the board, it has like step 1, step 2, 3, 4. Like, put your player meeples here. And then it's marked 1. And then there's like a circle with a 1 somewhere on the board. And then, give X amount of coins to everybody. And you follow it all the way around. It'll be like 13, 14, 15 steps, whatever. And it just makes the setup of the game so easy, and it shows you what stuff looks like. And then in other games, they'll have like, okay, this is the main board, how you set it up. And then it's like, okay, you have a player board. Similarly, it's got a picture of the board and then step by step how you set it up. It just makes first time setup very easy.
Yeah.
Then another thing I wanted to mention was when you go back to a game after subsequent plays, and especially after you haven't played it for a while, you don't necessarily always want to read the whole manual, right? The whole rule book, rather. And what a whole bunch of games like San Juan, the card game, which is going to be in our hot hands sometime soon from Awakened Realms. But some of those games will have in their rule books, the left side is going to be detailed information. And, you definitely want to read it first playthrough or as you're getting to learn the game. But then on the right-hand side, there's going to be like a column, or we'll call it like the gutter of the page. And it'll have just advanced, quick, how to set stuff up. So it's more of a reminder, or like the Cliff Notes version of what's on the left side of the page. I really like rule books that have that, because, I have trouble remembering what I had for lunch yesterday, although I do remember what I had for lunch yesterday because it was barbecued deliciousness. That's great. But anyway, I normally don't remember. I have a tough time remembering stuff from day to day just because there's so much stuff going on. I'm barely going to remember a game, the specific rules from something I played like a week or two ago, let alone 6 months ago. So if I get a little reminder, then I'm like, oh, yeah. Okay, now I remember. So having that little cheat sheet that gives us the quick blurbs, that just saves so much time. And I really like that in the rule books that have that.
Yeah, I think that's neat. I'm trying to think of, I've seen that in games like, in fact, I think Nemesis is one of them, where it's like, they list like what's changed. So if you've played the Nemesis and you're playing Nemesis Lockdown, they're letting you know you don't have to read the whole rule book. You can read these highlighted sections of what's changed from the previous game, so that because if you already know how to play it, you can just get the changes. That's awesome. All right, my last one, and this is a big one because unfortunately I have bought a lot of very large games. Castles of Burgundy Special Edition, Dragon Eclipse, Grim Coven, Nemesis
Those
1,
are
2,
all
and
the
3.
same publisher.
Yep, they are all the same publisher. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe it's an Awaken Realms issue. Dice Throne, I have no problem with them. They got it down packed. Even Wonderland's War I didn't have a problem with. All right, Awaken Realms, I'm coming at you. Oh yeah, because ISS Vanguard, all the cards. I think I've tracked down my problem. See, we don't just complain; we solve problems on this show.
Yeah. Therapy.
Oh, you know what? Okay, I do. I got another one.
There's
Restoration Games. Thunder Road Vendetta Max Chrome Edition was a struggle, but when you buy a very large game and you buy the storage solution, which is a CGE, Lost Ruins of Arnak, the adventure chest, that was a nightmare to put away. Yes. You know, I bought that essentially it's a storage solution. That's what that box is. And I had to go like somewhere else to figure out how to put the stuff away. They did a really poor job with their video. You know, it's like a 1-minute video.
Because didn't they have an insert on how the trays go in the box, but they didn't really
have there was nothing to tell you what goes in the
trays.
You can't tell from, these inserts. They're just all pressed plastic. It's like you don't know what shape that is or what goes where. And it's like you've got 3 expansions and a base game all going into one box. And they did do a video, but it was like they'll put this here, put this here, put this, and it's like really fast. They didn't really give it a little bit more time, show it, maybe say, hey, in expansion 1, or we're gonna build that tray, or because some of the stuff was kind of separated like that. Like here's the solo stuff, here's the base game, here's the expansions, but nothing's labeled in there's no labeling, there's no sheets telling you what goes where. You have to again go out, find their video. Their video wasn't straight clear. I ended up doing recording me actually going through this, and my video was over an hour long, and I was watching their video trying to put all my stuff together. You've got all this content on your table, and now it's like, put this here. Now you're trying to shuffle through all this content. And I actually had people comment on our video, thank you, because they had some of the issues I ran into, they did too, and they found the answers on my video. So I mean, hey, it's good for content. I'm probably going to do a Grim Coven one, even though I've already done it. Kind of go, hey, if you're unboxing, this is what they're talking about. This is what goes under these dividers. This is what goes where. But even there, I've got a couple things in Grim Coven that I bought the acrylic expansion. There's no explanation what they are, what they're replacing. I found nothing in the core game that even matches up what is in this acrylic box. So I still got 2 things that I don't know what they're for. They didn't match anything in the core box. So I have no clue. I don't know what they're for. Maybe they're for something, expansions that I don't have. I don't know. Could be, but there's, again, there was no sheet or nothing in there. What is this? Here's some green plastic. Okay. What is it? So, and again, they listed the list of contents on the back with no pictures or what is what again. And it's just why did I spend so much money on this and you can't tell me what's what? So, but again, Awaken Realms is not the only people that have this issue. Thunder Road Vendetta, as I mentioned, Max Chrome Edition. It was a struggle. Where does this stuff go? How do I get this put back? Lost Ruins of Arnak was, again, another nightmare one to figure out. If you're selling a storage solution, the number one thing you should offer is how to use it. Where does stuff go? So please, companies, figure it out. Stop making things so difficult on your customers. I don't know if it's saving a penny or something here or there, but as with the money, us spending, especially on some of these big boxes, we're spending hundreds of dollars. If you got to charge me another 25 cents to give me a sheet of paper that says where stuff goes, I'll pay you the extra quarter.
Or put in a QR code. Gee. It's like, I don't care. I'll look it up online because it's a one-time thing. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't care if it's digital.
Do that, because then I can print a sheet, and I prefer something showing it or printing it, because when the other thing is, if you just do a video, like a lot of these are the ones I've just done. When I got Grim Coven together back in the box, I'm like, this is going to be a nightmare when I play this, because the video, I'm not going to have the video available. I'm not going to sit here and watch a video trying to figure out how to put it back together. I'm hoping I will be able to know where everything goes. I don't think it'll be too terrible, but there's a lot of stuff going in certain spots that it's just like, I don't want to have to make a chart myself. I shouldn't have to for a game that it cost me so many hundreds of dollars. Like, just put that in there. Anyways, I'm done.
Okay.
That's my rant.
All right. Then another thing that I sort of enjoy is on some of the GMT games in specific, they'll have multiple rule books, and other games have these as well. They're not the only ones. But they'll have, let's say, a rule book that has a detailed list of all the rules. And being that it's GMT, it's probably like a 30-page rule book. But then they'll also have a secondary book in there, which is going to be a kind of like, your first 2 turns. And it goes and it lists everything in detail, like, Fred and Sally are playing, Fred does this, and it kind of shows everything that that Fred's doing. So the thing that I stole from you earlier when we started this topic thing, this is kind of like the enhanced version of that, where, I had said, it's great that they have illustrations or something in a rule book. This is where they actually have a separate book, a separate rule book that details the first round, couple of turns, whatever it is. And some will also include a book that even has extra information about the historical subjects of whatever the game is. Like, they might have, if it's something about, doing tile making for palaces in the Spanish Moors, like they'll have like a separate book that gives you some history on the palaces in the Spanish Moors, or with the Spanish Moors and stuff. And so, I like having that extra book, because it's kind of like having a playthrough in a book that you can refer to. And again, kind of going back to what I said a little bit ago, where reading the rules sometimes doesn't help us, because we like to know how it all works together. And then I think that's why some of these playthroughs are so popular, right? Because they show us that. And so it's cool when we get a separate book, a separate rule book that gives us all this detail on how to play.
Yeah, and I will say Awakened Realms does a really good job of that. I know with Dragon Eclipse and Grim Coven both, there's a separate book that walks you through a tutorial mission, which is really fantastic, because both those games, there's so much going on that it's nice to be able to, it'll tell you, get these cards, put them in a certain order. This is the boss you're going to fight. Get your characters, put your cards in a certain order, set up the game in this particular way. And then they're going to basically, step 1, do this, do this, do this. Then player 2, do this. Boss does this, do this. They're kind of hand-holding you, walking you through an example of a turn or an entire round or an entire game to get the feel of how it was going to work. You may not understand everything, and you won't understand every rule, because usually these are just getting you to understand how a round or a turn works. and then you will use that rule book to add in additional stuff as thing comes up, or you will, augment what this tutorial has done. But I really like that. And it's like, I will probably be going through the Grim Coven tutorial here real soon, hopefully this weekend, and play as 2 characters and just get an idea, because I really need to understand the game before I try to teach it to other people. And this allows me to go through, and if I need to, I can go through that tutorial again, just to kind of cement some things in. Okay, I understand that on the round, I'm doing this. I may not know what this and this is, but I know I'm doing this and then this. And you get the steps down, you understand what you need to do. And then as things progress, you already have the basics down. So I look forward to going through that tutorial, and I'm really grateful that they have added that in, because that's something they could have just said, read the rule book, Yep. So Awakened Realms, I love you guys. I have a lot of my shelves are dedicated to you. So don't mean to beat them up, but they need to work on a couple things. They do an amazing job, which is why I keep coming back. So, yes. But yes, they're awesome.
And when they have those, like first round, first campaign explanations, definitely have it as a separate book, because I'd rather have a separate book that I can refer to first playthrough, maybe second playthrough, but then I put it aside and I don't need an 80-page rule book, right? Where, the rule book and the campaign book are combined in one. So I'd rather have a smaller rule book and then a smaller campaign book than an all-in-one. But,
yeah. And just to show how much I support this freaking company.
I think you've got everything.
I back just about everything they put out. I think they I think they did Below the Asylum, right? Wasn't that them? Oh yeah, there it is up there. So Below the Asylum is a
That's
current,
the new one, right?
Yep, I've backed that.
Thomas.
I've also backed Puerto Rico, which is one of theirs, and I've also got currently backed what's the other one? Agricola, which I think is also them.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
One.
So I've currently I just got in something. I still have 3 more crowdfunded projects from Awakened Realms. Big boxes, so I know what's coming. I know I'm gonna be upset about how to put stuff away. But
or maybe
again,
they learned their lesson.
I doubt it, but you never know. So, but yeah, it hasn't stopped me from supporting the company. So it can't be that bad, right?
Yeah. Although I think your relationship with them isn't quite as bad as Roxley, but still.
Well, I love Roxley.
No, I mean, like, because you got like everything Roxley.
I don't think, I don't think there's a game that Roxley has put out that I don't have. I think I own everything. So, but now I'm looking on the what have I missed on the Awakened Realms. I need to pick up like Lands of Evershade and Tainted Grail and Stalker. But this War of Mine wasn't that a video game that you liked?
Yep.
Yeah, they've got
I was just looking at that one the other day. That's like one of their first ones. Actually, that was the first game of theirs that I picked up. Not a very happy game.
No. But I don't have all of their stuff, but I do seem to be on a kick of backing just about everything that they and they have some upcoming stuff too. Oh boy.
Yeah, I think
more Dragon Eclipse, and
I have this War of Mine, and then I skipped everything until Castles of Burgundy. And then what?
This War of Mine 2nd edition is the Pledge Manager is open for all. No, no, don't click it. Don't click it. I clicked it. Rob, you're costing me money today.
Nope. Not this time.
All right. Oh, man. I can back this project. Oh, it's too much money. 350 euros for the veteran pledge.
Oh, wow.
165 for
doozy.
The survivor pledge.
Maybe play the first edition on this Board Game Life Con 3.
There you go.
See what you think.
Oh, I got to get out of here. I got to stop. Go away. So, I wonder what this Dragon Eclipse Grand Quest is. I got to follow this one. It's upcoming.
I think we need to change the subject.
Okay.
It's costing you money. Stop.
What is that? Follow.
Okay, get back to the topic. We're talking books.
I'm done. I got nothing left to say on the rule books. I'm busy looking at more projects upcoming.
Depleting your checking account.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, that's all that I had. That's some of the things that we enjoyed, or some of the things that we were irked by rule books. And if there's something in particular that you guys, the listeners, think that we missed and you'd like to tell us, just let us know. Let us know by sending us an email at contact@thisboardgamelife, or do a comment on this episode or the guild or wherever. It's all good. So anyway, that's it for episode 109. Hope you enjoyed the show. We had a great time making it for you. And we'll catch you all in 2 weeks on episode 110. I am Rob. You're time out.
Time out. I got a news flash for people.
Yeah.
As I'm poking around the Awakened Realms GameFound page. And I heard about this just the other day. So Nemesis Retaliation, which just shipped out recently.
Right.
And is fantastic, okay? And Nemesis is awesome. Retaliation is the third game. You don't need to have played the first two, but I almost think the Retaliation might very well be the best one in this series. It's kind of like Aliens, the movie, right? I've talked about it, where Nemesis is like Alien, the movie. Yep. This one is just, you are swarmed with a bunch of stuff. This is fantastic. Well, due to the tariffs, a lot of customers, Awakened Realms did give customers the ability to back out of their pledges because of the high cost of tariffs. Like, it was huge. I paid a lot of money for the tariffs alone. A lot of people in the U.S., so this is U.S. only, but if you wanted to back it or you didn't get it, there's a pre-order open right now on GameFound. And it just says Nemesis Retaliation Mystery Box. So I haven't completely, I don't know what they mean by mystery box, but it says leftover Nemesis Retaliation boxes are available for U.S. customers. There's limited stock. It's going to be only in the U.S. and shipping is included in the price. So if you are interested in securing it right now, it's just a pre-order. You'll have to go to their page. But they have the mystery box tier 1, which I don't know why they're calling them mystery boxes, but it says includes a sealed Nemesis Retaliation special edition core box, gray or sun drop. So maybe that's it. You might get the gray, you might get the sun dropped, plus a selection of campaign extras like expansions or gameplay upgrades. Exact contents will vary by tier. So they have a tier 1 for $159, tier 2 for $259, which you're going to get like 4 expansions, it looks like. Then they have the tier 3, which looks like everything, $459. Again, it's expensive, but this is including shipping. So they're saying
which
this is
expensive on its own.
So, I mean, especially if you're going all in. So you're going to save some money. You will have to pay applicable sales tax. Keep that in mind. but the shipping is included in this price. So again, this is due to them having overstock due to the tariffs. So if you were looking and you backed out, or if you backed out due to that, maybe now's the time to get back in. Maybe you can get it. So just go to GameFound and search for Awakened Realms, and it's like the first thing you see in the top corner, Nemesis Retaliation Mystery Box. So, all right. Sorry, didn't mean to drag it on, but I thought that's good information for people.
Oh, that's cool.
So
thanks for sharing.
All right. Yep. With that, I'm Mark.
And I'm Rob. Catch you all in 2 weeks.
See you at the table.
2 and 2.
Bye.